interactive session on this subject of cybersecurity. We are thankful to Dr. Virendra Singh, sir, Professor of IIT Bombay, who will be interacting with the students as well as others who are on this platform. As we see changes in technology happening very fast, and more we are getting connected to Ethernet, where our identity is in bits and bytes. This is somewhat due to the rapid changes in wireless communication technology, and recently 5G services got launched. And in coming decade, we'll see 6G and so on, and valuable information is now much more challenging as we are moving from wired connection to wireless connection, where we have air interface more prone to cyber attacks. Hence, researchers are continuously on it to mitigate these issues, both from the hardware as well as software perspective. Dr. Virendra Singh, sir, is having a vast experience in this field, and his talk is going to be interesting for the graduate students, college students, as well as researchers as well. As we have a short time, I would like to share a brief of Dr. Virendra Singh, sir. Dr. Virendra Singh, sir, is a member of IEEE, received his BE and ME degrees in Electronics and Communication Engineering from Maulviya National Institute of Technology, Jaipur, India, in 1994 and 1996. And the PhD degree in Computer Science and Engineering from Nara Institute of Science and Technology, Nara, Japan, in 2005. He is currently a professor with IIT Bombay, Computer Science Department. Prior to joining IIT Bombay, he was a faculty member of Supercomputer Education and Research Center in one other prestigious institution of not only in India as well as world, Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru. He was there from 2007 to 2011. His research interests include high-performance computer architecture, testing and verification of high-performance processor, fault-tolerant computing, VLSI testing, design for test, formal verification of hardware design, embedded system design, design of reliability, and CAD of VLSI. Dr. Singh is a member of ACM, VSI, and also a life member of IIT. In this program, we have with us our director, sir, Sri Umesh Kumar Rastogi, whom I welcome to this program and request a few words on this program, and as well as welcome Dr. Virendra Singh, sir. Thank you from my side.
Thank you, sir, for your kind introduction, for which I hardly deserve. So in next 40-45 minutes, we will be discussing about the cyber security, what are the challenges of the threats, and then what are the solutions. And today it's a special day. So I acknowledge the contribution from my collaborators, Professor Shyam Sundar from IIT Bombay, Professor Fujita from Tokyo University, Professor Saluja from Wisconsin, and couple of other people, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, Japan Science and Technology, who have funded my research in this area. And now we are having a large project which is funded by National Cyber Security Coordinator's Office in Government of India. This is like a special day. Today we have the birth anniversary of Sardar Patel, who united the country, and this security threats are really now popping up in cyber domain, and therefore we must have our defenses intact, and people like Sardar Patel who can take bold decision and can protect our nation's cyber infrastructure. Today also is death anniversary of late former President, Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, who sacrificed her life serving the nation. And so we also pay tribute to her. And interestingly, today also is birthday of my own sister, who is celebrating 50th birthday today only. So this is just a coincidence. So now coming back, in working in the cyber security and cyber infrastructure, we have a large group of researchers working with me in IIT Bombay. It's about like 30-35 people working in this area. So now, throughout this, we will discuss about the cyberspace, the evolution of cybersecurity. What are the situations in India, sources of cyber threats, and hardware and software cybersecurity concerns, and then some concluding remarks. Maybe I can take you a little bit in history, and perhaps this is like a Nehru Science Center and Museum. So maybe it's good to dig out some history and see that where technology is playing a big role in our development. So if I look at the human evolution, in that case, like say earlier days was the days of hunters and gatherers, and we were coexisting with the nature. People were hunting and then somehow surviving. About say 15,000 years ago or so, people started to learn how to do the agriculture, and then society became the agrarian society from the hunters and gatherers. They started to settle in some area, started to do agriculture with a very primitive kind of say things they could have had at that point in time. And then no big evolution or revolution has happened in next almost like say 15-20,000 years. And then now I mean around the 18th century, there was another big revolution that has happened with the invention of steam engine. We started to do the mass production, and our society transformed into an industrial society from agrarian society. This was a big revolution. So we can classify this as a society 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. And then again, about like you can see the time span of the next big revolution was decreasing. And now almost like 150 years later, early in the last century, it was the big invention of computers. And then we got into the age of information society or information technology. So we started to dependent on the information technology. So this last 1.5, I mean, last almost 1 century, you can say that here we were in information society. Now we are making another transition, that is society 5.0. We are near at the age of that society that we call as the society of super smart society, or society of super smarts, wherein we went or we are going one step ahead, and then there is a coexistence of men and machinery. They can talk to interact with each other. So far we were using the machinery for our use or to make our lifestyle better. So now if I look at these various ages, we started from society 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. Perhaps society 2.0, 3.0 made large impact, but then the impact of society 4.0, which is information society, is not small. And this is like fueled by mostly the industrial revolution. First revolution came around somewhere 17th century or 18th century, was first industrial revolution, and light industry started. Then the second revolution came, and that was like a heavy industry era, wherein like a lot of say industries came up and improved the life quality a lot. And the third industrial revolution came as a computer and internet. Computer of course, was mostly developed during the Second World War era. Of course, wars always come with all bad things, but then technology develops very fast during those periods. And computer industry has seen that as well. And internet technology made us to connect multiple computers so that they can talk to each other. And then now we are migrating, or partially we have migrated to society 5.0, wherein there is a digital transformation. You can hear this word every now and then, here and there, that has the digital transformation through artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, blockchain technology, etc., etc. So all these are the various technologies which helped our society to migrate to the next level. And if I look at more minutely within this society 5.0 with industry 4.0, and now we are going to industry 5.0. So here we are by and large working or moving towards a cyber physical system, wherein for every physical system we have some controlling cyber system that can control. Of course, I'll come to this point that what are the kind of problems we are getting into because of these cyber physical systems wherein we are relying for the next society. Now, even we are going ahead. So in society 5.0 is like we have that's the next generation. We have digitalization, and which is like a more organized information. You have a connected world. Everything is network assisted, and then we are enjoying to being the say empowered society. So society 5.0 with industry 4.0, wherein we have digitalization that uses cyber physical systems on connected devices and automate the processes further. However, the next real revolutionary wave is yet to come, or that is coming. That is the interdependence of man and machine using the cognitive and computing and human intelligence all together. This goes to the mass customization and personalization for humans. Like here, say if you go to the medical doctor, perhaps medical doctor may not prescribe a generic drug, but he or she will prescribe very personalized medicine so that it will be the most effective to us. So the fifth way which will help us, that is like a movie scene, that data, I mean, there is a continuous interaction between the machine and human. So this industry 5.0 provide the priority to utilize efficiently machine and human synergistically. And maybe very soon I'll come to this point why I'm discussing these things, because they play a role in the deciding the what to do in to say take care of cyber security of these things. So this makes the significant change in the industry 4.0, that is this is say industry 5.0, and create the smart factories. That within that we have cyber physical systems which are monitored by processes. We through the Internet of Things, cyber physical systems communicate. They have their own cognitive capability, so they can talk and interchange things. So Internet of Things, you can say that anything which can interact but not a computer are classified as Internet of Things. Maybe phone, watches, ring, television, cars, etc. They have capability. The Internet of Things has to have four different components. Sorry, I missed one in this one. Sensing of some signal, communication between the various devices, do the computation, take a decision, and then actuation that do the correction or feedback. So, and this will result into a smart world. So now when we are approaching, or we are almost there to enter into the smart world, wherein we have a smart city that has a collection of, say, smart healthcare schemes, smart education, smart power system, smart transportation, etc., etc. So smart city have all these kind of smart and intelligent things connected all together. We have a smart home wherein you go, sit, and then the home itself senses it. It senses your presence. Open the door, you go and sit, and then based on your mood, it should run some songs or some movie, etc. It should have cooling very pointed towards the where you are sitting, and all those kind of things. The transportation also, like the transport industry, which was almost considered as mechanical industry couple of decades ago, now has completely transformed into a electrical or computer science industry, wherein we have all the automobiles which are self-driven. So that means it can take decision by itself, which route it should go, how it should drive. Just you sit there and give the order that where you want to go, and you can do your work comfortably without any worry. All these things, like here, the underlying technologies is information system that has to move from one place to another place, and there should be a synergistically communication or coordination between man or human and machine. That is very, very important. One such example is a power grid, wherein you have smart grids wherein you can take the energy. Maybe I may have a say solar power panel installed on my rooftop. From that rooftop, I can say derive the power, and whenever I don't need power, I can sell it to the power grid whenever I need. In that case, I can draw from there, and so on and so forth. So this is the way the world has evolved over the time. And the main component behind this is the evolution of information society to the super smart society, wherein the underlying technology is based on computers and the internet. And the machines which can say help you in moving from, communicating with each other. And now we have, as it was mentioned in the introductory comments, that we have already launched the 5G technology, which can help significantly bringing all kind of devices all together, and the density of the devices would be something like we may have several billion devices in by 2025. I think we are going to get something about say 30 billion devices connected. So this is like a huge network of devices which can smartly communicate with each other and make a decision. So it's the time of cyber physical cognitive systems, wherein machine can also take a decision like we people are taking. And then significant say risks are involved. As technology evolved, people have designed and say technology to help humankind, so that human can make its life better. But at the same time, those same technology was misused by some rogue elements in the society, created weapons, and then because of weapons, there is a disorder in the society. So, and we need a policing for that. In the similar way, when we reach to the information society, that the cyberspace can also be exploited by the rogue elements and can create now bigger havoc than a physical weapon can do. Physical weapons still have a capability to destroy some area. I happened to visit the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and I have seen that a devastated situation over there. But still, that was confined within the periphery of Hiroshima or Nagasaki. However, the cyberspace is vast, and then we cannot even imagine that how much impact it can make if society is not well ordered society. So that's a significant say lesson that we have to have from the development of other technologies and misuse of that technology. On the contrary, I mean, we also lived through the very tough time of Corona. It is a biological virus, and then biological viruses came, and different biological viruses came in throughout the lifespan of human. Maybe as early as in 1918, there was a Spanish flu that has infected about 500 million people, and 50 million people died. Now the medical sciences have made huge development, and despite this was so violent virus, we were able to survive in last couple of years, though with the limited mobility, etc. So and throughout the world, maybe the infection about something like here several million people got infected by the COVID-19. The computers also have the similar kind of issues. Now, I mean, one thing we have seen, that technology that helps human quality of life, but then this can also be misused, like here the bomb. Nuclear energy can power up a city, can provide us a very long-term energy. However, that can also be used to destroy the human civilization. And the other one is like a biological viruses. These biological viruses can say impact the huge population in the similar way. The computer viruses can impact the computers, and we will see shortly that here the trajectory of both of the viruses are pretty much similar, not very different. So you can see this is the trajectory of evolution of biological viruses over the computer viruses. And if I draw a parallelism between the biological viruses, computer viruses, biological viruses infect the human being, so they replicate only inside the body cells of a living organism using their resources. In computer viruses, they replicate by copying itself into another other computer program and proliferate like the human like coronavirus or any other biological virus is spreading. Like here, biological viruses replicate inside an organism for a while without any symptom, and this would be known as the incubation period is on. The computer viruses also, it can be programmed to cause harm only after certain event. So it can be triggered by event. Until that time, it can remain dormant and you won't be able to sense that. Such as while you are launching an application or something like here, it can create I mean, that can be triggered and then can start to do the damage. Like the biological virus mutates, so that means it can produce copies with mutation that may become resistant to the antibodies or anti-drugs that we are using. In the similar way, the computer virus also can change the code in its copies to avoid the detection by antivirus software that we are using. Biological virus has self-defense mechanism, so that means it can attack and or compromise the immune system to protect itself. In the similar way, the computer virus also can block antivirus software that can detect it and try to kill it to protect itself. So you can see that there is a parallel between the biological virus and computer virus. And as like a human race is suffering from these biological viruses, the computers are also suffering from these viruses. So I have given you two scenarios. One is the scenario in which the technology helped us in improving our life quality, because but then the same technology can be misused and can hurt the human civilization. In the similar way, the biological viruses hurt the human being. The similar way, the computer viruses can also hurt the computers or information system that I have. Now, when your system, so now we are by and large relying on the information system. And so that is like a kind of maybe one can say source of energy or survival of we people. Today, I think it's difficult for people to stay away from the mobile more than say 15 minutes or so. Every 10-15 minutes people keep on checking whether they got some message or not, some mail or not, and all those kind of things. So we always want to remain connected. Our status should be always like here up on the all the social website and everywhere. Doesn't matter whether we are awake or sleeping. So that's the kind of evolution that has happened. Our dependency has gone too far. And now, as I said, that the current society in which we are moving, society 5.0, is society of super smart. That is the society wherein the machine and human will synergetically say communicate with each other and say move forward. And therefore now it is very important that what we are using to interact here should be very much protected, otherwise it can create havoc. So now if I look at that here, if I don't care about that, what can happen? This is a car, that driverless Uber car, and now when it sees some situation ahead of it, right, it has to take some decision. And now if it is a human on the steering wheel, perhaps human can make a decision, what shall I do at that point in time, but these machines have to be programmed, and you have to tell upfront that if I see such kind of situation, what shall I do? And this particular car's information system had chosen to hit a woman when it saw the say difficult situation wherein one side there is some big wall and the other side women and all those kind of things. So and that killed the women. The other situation wherein say I think about 2 years ago in October 2020, there was a complete power blackout in Mumbai. Sometimes in October, almost like a half a day, there was no train service, there was no electricity, and because today the power grid is a cyber physical system, and now these are becoming the cyber physical cognitive system. That would be the say way ahead, but then it is interacting, the physical system is interacting with the cyber system, and then anybody rogue say element in the society can breach into the system and can say create say destruction or say big chaos in the society, like here the almost city has come down to stand still because of I mean potentially don't know the real source, but it was speculated that this was power outage was because of the cyber sabotage. Somebody has through the cyber system has sabotaged the system. So this is the reality today in which we are staying. The other thing can be like a couple of years ago there was a big cyber attack on the nuclear facility in Iran that was called as the Stuxnet. Through some printer chips, the outsiders could go I mean, get into the system, and system was shut down. So now, I mean, external agents, external say sources can control your system, because all of us are on the cyberspace wherein everything is connected, and one can get into the another system and can create some bad situation. These are some of the threats. Maybe you might have heard on the newspaper that one was a couple of months ago, the colonial pipeline in US was brought down, and there was no gas supply for almost, I think, 2 days because of the ransomware attack. And they ended up paying almost like I think $4.4 million to the hackers to resume the gas supply, because entire data it has or a program that they were running was encrypted and placed on their system, and you can only decrypt after paying them ransom money for the ransomware. So these are the potential threats that we are getting because of the connected society and our reliance on the information infrastructure. So I think by now I say set the background that how important it is to worry about the cyber infrastructure. Today we cannot live, see, like we cannot live without electricity, you cannot live without the information availability to you, and almost everything is controlled by today by the information or the remote controlled by the information system. Now, if I look at the worry of various kind of organization, and particularly in the era of COVID, that what the various organizations are worried about that. And this is one sample survey which was done during the corona pandemic in October 2020. And interestingly, you can see that the worry of most of the organization is on information system. So 50% people, organizations are giving the maximum priority to the security of information society, information systems. Business continuity and resilience is second, then the customer experience, business agility, all these employment, productivity, automation, etc. But the most important concern of every organization was onto the information system, because now maybe even if it is a small business houses, everybody is filing say GST and maintaining the record everything through the information system. And therefore it is very, very important that this information system should work or should remain in healthy state all the time. So now it is the time wherein we are living in a cyberspace, we spend more time on that cyberspace than the really interacting with the physical systems. So then what we call as a cyberspace. Cyberspace is a global domain within the information environment consisting of the interdependent network of information technology infrastructure, including internet, telecommunication networks, computer systems, embedded processors, and controllers, which are controlling each and every aspect in the world. So now, if I look at the impact of the information and communication technology on this networked world, in that case, we can see that in over the last couple of years, there is a rapid say improvement. Couple of years ago, you can see the connectivity of the world that look like in the first graph that is visible over here. It was sometimes like here in 1980s, wherein there was a DARPA or American Defense came up with the internet technology. Now today, if you draw a map, in that case, you can see the densities much higher than the that time, and therefore almost like every device is connected. You are not we are not living in isolated environment. So therefore, like if I have so many electronic devices, they can communicate to each other and interact with each other, and sometimes like in autonomous systems, they make their own decision by itself. And therefore, now here this cyber security became very important issue. If you look at the evolution of the cyber security, as I mentioned earlier, like here the biological viruses, the first secure threat came from the viruses. Those were developed in 80s or 90s, and most of the time in the beginning they were developed for fun, that whether I can control something, can say have some information maybe be leaked or something like that. So that was the 90s time, and then the remedy of that came as antivirus software. Multiple antivirus companies came and developed the antivirus like Symantec or Norton or many other companies. Obviously, as time progressed, in that case, the number of viruses were increasing, and therefore you need more and more bulky antiviruses. And unfortunately, because the Linux or Unix operating system was used more by the scientific community, who know much more about the computer system than the community which was using the Windows kind of operating machines or operating systems. And therefore, there were many viruses were developed for the Windows kind of environment, wherein people did not have that much I say knowledge about the computer system, and those this information was exploited by the hackers or the computer virus writers. Then slowly, like people started to prevent these kind of viruses, because these viruses came. Initially the source of the viruses were coming through the floppy disk, through which we could transfer data from one place to another place, when we were not living in today's kind of connected world. However, slowly the connectivity has increased, and people started to communicate through the information infrastructure or communication network. And therefore, it was very important to detect such kind of viruses at the network interface, and firewalls were developed to mitigate these kind of threats. Then when it comes to the um, this century, we got the worms which were spreading much faster, and then it started to influence multiple computers. And therefore, the remedy for that was a development of development of intrusion detection system, through which somebody can intrude in your system. So the intrusion detection or the network intrusion detection system, NIDS, were developed and to prevent such kind of threats. Later on in last decade, or the early last decades, we started to see many botnets which can proliferate pretty fast and can provide mount many kind of attacks. Those attacks can be used to say steal the information that you have. For example, your credit card detail, your account details, or that can be say other say key of your encryption system that you are using to transfer the encrypted messages from one place to another place. But then the application aware firewalls, etc., were developed to prevent this kind of sources. Now, currently in this decade, the more say important or kind of threats that we are seeing are called as advanced persistent threats, and which are a more sophisticated version of all of above that we have seen, and those are developed by more professionals than just university students doing for fun. And therefore, we need to have very sophisticated analysis of the system to figure out whether my system is infected by some of this or not. And perhaps you might have heard about Pegasus or many such kind of say softwares which can intrude from one system to another system and can leak the information that you have without any way to detect. So over the years, you can see that starting from this entire story was unfolded after invention of internet, because thereafter we started to use computer system or information system more effectively. Hence, in the beginning, it was viruses, then the hacker community or started to hack into the websites, writing some kind of messages onto that or so on and so forth. Then they move to the implanting malicious code, and that malicious code can say leak some of the information, or can say if I have a mobile system, it can quickly drain the battery or so. Then it was evolved in terms of the advanced worms and trojans. So people started to implant some trojan, and those trojans will remain as dormant inside the system. But whenever I can have some kind of say event, like for example, I write some very non-trivial kind of command that nobody uses. Say, for example, on the system, I write ls minus t minus 3400. In that case, some Trojan can trigger, and then it start to leak the information. And so that was the era of like having more and more Trojan, and most of the time the idea was to say leak some kind of say secret information to the public or to some community. Then in the last decades, as more and more businesses were say benefited by the advancement in the information technology, and therefore the cyber identity theft as well as the money theft becoming really very popular. And one way was to use some kind of phishing. In phishing, you send some message, and if that message, if somebody is doing some kind of banking transaction, in that case you can divert that and can say steal the identity, and then you can make use of that open session to do your own transaction. So that is like a more or less like a hijacking their session that they were using for their transactions. And now, then there is a whole lot of like a flood of information. Hackers say target was to go for the denial of service. When I have heard at least a couple of times that there was some denial of service attack on some airline servers, and therefore the airline server is not able to operate, and then all the flights went like on standstill. They are not able to operate, and this has happened. I don't want to name, but couple of places at airport as well as to the airlines. And this way we are heading towards more or less towards the cyber warfare. And some people suspect that the next world war won't be fought on the ground, but that would be fought on to the information system infrastructure. So it is really very, very important. One has to look at and how to take care that how I can safeguard my information system infrastructure. If I look at the say ransomware itself, it is becoming like a big industry now. What ransomware does is this say get into your system, it encrypt all the files by their own encryption software, and then make it unusable for you. And until unless you pay ransom to them, in that case, you cannot unlock. So of course, if you are vigilant and you have your data stored at different places, and then you can retrieve from the another source, perhaps you can be saved. Otherwise, you have to pay that. And this like an estimated the global damage it is doing to the society is something like is growing exponentially. That has become like almost several tens of billion-dollar industry. So it's a huge say effort from hackers to say attack on your infrastructure. And you can see that how many organizations were reported the ransomware attack from the different countries. When the Saudi Arabia comes on top, it is 88%. China itself is like the 70%. US 50%, and so on and so forth. So so this is really a big threat, and this is also becoming a big industry for all sorts kind of people who have wrong mentality. So most commonly methods for ransomware infection in America. These are statistics are available from America, and that's why I'm giving you those statistics. But pretty much similar kind of scenario exists in India, not very say different. So like here, mostly large number of attacks are coming because of the spam or phishing email that you are getting, and then it shows you that you won a $1 million lottery or something, and it can take you somewhere. And then once it take you somewhere, in that case, you it can say pass on the malicious ransomware code to your computer system. The other source is like a lack of cybersecurity training people have, and because of that they are lured to some different domain, and you can be compromised. Again, 30% is because of we are not habitual of using or changing our password every now and then, and it is many times it is much easier to obtain the weak password if somebody has, because many times people are using some very known kind of information in their password, like a date of birth or name, surname, city name, etc., etc., and those are very easy to detect something through something is called as dictionary attack. People can make a whole lot of dictionary that here what are the kind of things one can use in making their password, and then you really don't need to apply all possible permutation combination to break the password, but only a few attempts are good enough to guess the password. So that is another thing that we are using the weak password. Sometimes it is irritating when a website asks you to have a strong password with several special character and some capital letter, small letter, and something like that. And again, it doesn't allow you to repeat the password and so on and so forth, because they want that your password may not be guessed by the attacker in simple way. Like here the surfing to the malicious website, because they are coming with some luring offer, like here you are getting some discount, this thing, that thing, and therefore it can lure you to that. So these are the common sources to get into the ransomware, and then ransomware can infect your system, and practically it can make your system unusable. And you can see the how strong it is, that American gas pipeline firm had to pay $4.4 million. This is the official report coming from that company, and they customers had to suffer almost 3-4 days gas outage in that particular area. You can see that here more than 50% organizations are reported to be infected by one or another kind of cyber threat. Like a large number of organizations are affected out of that by phishing and social engineering kind of website. Perhaps you might have heard about Cambridge Analytica and those kind of social engineering website, which can affect the human behavior as well. Malware, which can implant a malicious software inside your system, and that can leak the information or can bring your system down as well. Denial of services, like a bombarding of lot of if I'm running a server that can cater the email or provide the email services, and if there are so many attempts to log into that service, in that case your server may not be able to handle that, and then there would be a blackout. And many times this has happened with the say Facebook or that kind of social media kind of websites. could not operate for half a day or 1 day because of the denial of service attacks. It becomes important, like some of the organizations which are very sensitive and they are at the verge of losing a large sum. In that case, they prevent that by putting, say, some restrictions to access. Like, for example, in bank, if I say write 3 times in a wrong password, in that case, it debar me to allow to access for next 24 hours. Of course, this will have say inconvenience in using the information infrastructure, but then I mean, there is no better way, or I mean, so far that is one of the foolproof method that we can use, though it comes with lot of inconvenience and the job of the entire research community is to bring some solution which can maintain the user convenience at the same level as there was no solution implemented under the such kind of solutions. Use of out of the softwares which have some kind of vulnerability, and those vulnerability can be exploited by the malicious softwares or hackers, and then through that they can implant the malicious software inside your system. That malicious software can be ransomware, and then ransomware has a command and control system somewhere, so it remains dormant, and when it receives the command from their command and control system, in that case that ransomware will trigger and can encrypt your entire system and make it unusable for you. So now you can see that in this slide, I'm giving you some statistics because this is more about the awareness program rather than getting into the hardcore technology, how to prevent these kind of threats. Some kind of like the statistics that can help you to say appreciate the severity of the problem, and one should be very careful about it. Now you can see that here this chart tells you that who are the actors behind these all the security breaches that we have. So 75% these are the actors from the outside your organization, maybe different organization, that may be a competitor organization, or that can be organization from the different country who wants to sabotage your business or your company, or defame your company, or 25% time the people from your same organization are involved in that, and they can are involved in say mounting such kind of attacks. 18% time this is conducted by the state affiliated actors, which is really a big concern. Now if you live in a hostile environment, so in that case the some actors which are like a large hackers team is supported by your enemy countries to hack into your system, to defame the some of the organization, or can steal some information, bring down the system, like you're bringing down the power supply of the entire city. That can be one which can create a lot of chaos inside the society. 3% is like featured by the multiple parties, and so on and so forth. And like out of this, if you look at that, the 51% people are like from the criminal groups or organized crimes.
So
What kind of, pardon?
So we have 10 minutes now, so that we can take up.
Okay, I will wind up in 5-6 minutes.
Yeah, yes, so that we can take up questions also.
Yeah, okay. So then what are the kind of tactics people are using in breaching this? So now like more or less 60% like hacking to your system, 50% is like your use of malware and so forth. Maybe you can, I mean, I will share these slides. You can look at these statistics. Now it's important to learn that who are the victim of all these hackers. So 24% are affected by the financial organizations. 50% breaches are involved wherein we have healthcare organization, wherein this is very societal sensitive target. 12% like public sector entities, and 15% like retail or the accommodation combined with this. So I mean, we have the cyber hackers or attackers all around us, and then we have to say safeguard our infrastructure. Here, these are various kind of attacks that has happened with various kind of various organizations, including the crypto systems and so on and so forth. This gives you the by and large which are the sectors which are affected more, and obviously the information technology related firms are always available on the cyberspace, and therefore they are the victim target. If I look at the Indian cyber situation, in that case, I mean, India ranks third in terms of the highest number of internet users in the world. After US and China, maybe say big because of our large 1.3 billion population, and after this say Corona lockdown, it has again contributed because there's a significant proliferation of mobile infrastructure in the country. So annual growth is something like here about 44%. India says, I mean, the India secure a spot amongst the top 10 spam sending countries in the world. That is really worrisome. That is large number of people who are participating in those kind of activities. India was ranked among the top 5 countries to be affected by the cyber crime by online security firm Semantic Corporation. So 5th largest country which was affected by this, so that therefore this is like a significant thing. And these were like various kind of attacks that has happened on Indian information system. Like in July 2016, Bank of India was affected by the phishing attack, and lost about like $170 million. Of course, with the prompt action, that money was recovered back, and then there were many other threats like a data theft from Zomato happened in May 2017, and so on and so forth. So cyber attacks, intrusion and attacks have increased dramatically over last 1 decade, exposing the sensitive personal and business information to the world, and this disrupted the critical operation of the information systems, and eventually it disrupts the societal order, and imposing the high cost on the economy. Cyber space has inherent vulnerabilities. Those may not be or cannot be removed, and we have to stay with that. We have to remain vigilant. Unaccountable entry points that we have through the internet, and therefore people can intrude inside your system if you are not vigilant. Computer network defense tactics and practices largely protected individual system and network rather than the critical operation or missions that we have. Attack technology outpacing the defense technology. So this is like a game, like a police and thieves. It is a game. If the defenders are going ahead, then the attackers are making more advancement, and there is the attackers are outpacing with the defense technology. Nation states and non-state actors are and individuals are participating in that, and which is making it worse. So the sources of cyber threats are like a nation state, cyber criminals, terrorists, hackers, the activists, and these are the various threats we have, like malware, viruses, bombs, threat of the intellectual property or data, social engineering, phishing, DNS attack that can poison the DNS server, and then therefore there is no internet surfing, denial of service kind of attacks. Now, if I say that the look at the cyber security as a whole, in that case, cyber security, now we cannot say that here this will have only purely the technical solution. It has to have a blend of all, like here the user awareness, policies, and the regulation are essential elements along with the technological solution. So that's the kind of message that we want to give. So that means here we have to have some policies and the defenses which can secure against the attack. More concern is about the critical information infrastructure that we have. So if we can have the policies that can safeguard the critical information infrastructure, like the cyber grid, etc., etc. So we can have like a defense at various levels, at the application level, operating system level, say virtual machine, and at hardware. So technologically we have to have defense at every level. Maybe I don't have much time to go through all these things. So now it's not only the software which is vulnerable. One more important thing I want to say here is that cyber security is, I mean, until a decade ago, people were thinking that cyber security is only the concern of software developer. However, lately all the softwares were developed knowing that there may be a cyber attack. Hence, they have inherent defense mechanism inside those. However, the hardware systems are always developed without any concern about the cyber security, and hence those become more vulnerable. And then now hacker community started to move towards the hardware exploitation, and they can exploit the hardware to to mount attack on your system. So maybe I stop here and I can summarize that we are in an era wherein cyber, we live in the society of cyber physical cognitive system, and my cyber physical cognitive system, wherein there is an interaction between the human and a machine. We have to be cognizant about the trustworthiness of that infrastructure, and it is the significant role of the technologies to play to safeguard those kind of information infrastructure. And it is, as I said, it is not only the technologist role, but the policy, regulation, and awareness about the user is equally important. People must be vigilant to safeguard the information infrastructure that they have, and they should not become the weakest link in the chain, so that hacker can intrude through your weakest link by having very weak password, etc., etc. So with this, I thank all of you for patientful listening me, and I would be happy to answer any query or question that you have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. If there is any questions from audience side, they can come to the stage where we have set up. They can ask, and even the participants who are there on the online, they can pose their questions in the chat box, or they can raise the hand so that we can directly ask the question to the speaker.
Hello. Students,
Yes.
any one of you want to ask any question? You can come forward and then ask the question to the speaker. Please. On cyber security. You may be having various issues, various questions, various queries. Every one of us are using mobiles nowadays, and we face many problems which are unknown to us. You can pose some questions.
From the online forum, if anyone having any question. Yeah, Dr. Suvir Kumar sir is having some question. Sir, please, you can. Please turn on your mic, sir.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are
Yes,
audible.
audible.
Sir, whatever you mentioned here, the beautiful question, the beautiful point that attracts me too much. Regarding COVID, we lost at least 15 billion people in the globe. So my question is that whatever you said, that there is a great analogy between computer virus and the biological virus. So is the scientist personal may think to overcome such type of preventive measure, already invent anything else? But a computer like whatever antivirus invented, in such a way we may have approach to get a great success about to overcome this disease. Am I?
Yeah, so see, as I have given you the parallel between the biological virus and then computer virus. Like biological viruses, computer virus also mutate and evolve with time, and therefore it can defend itself. Like for example, it comes as a executable file, and then to evade itself from the say antiviruses, it become active and then delete the source file through which it came. So it may not be able to detect. There were many attempts scientific community is doing. However, as I said that here the hacker community or virus writer community is also evolving. So one of the way that people were using until recently was you use watch one's virus, make a signature of that, and then search for that kind of signature. If that kind of signature is there, in that case you can say there is a virus, and then I can somehow prevent it to at least proliferate further. In the similar way, we do the COVID tests that if whether there is some symptom or not, and that is like a signature. However, the viruses here can mutate in very fast, can have so many, like making some additional say lines of code within your code that doesn't do anything. Just like here say that here they are killing some time or something like that. That can make a very different program, and that can be very different signature. And therefore, the signature-based antiviruses that we were using earlier are not able to or not capable to say take care of newer and newer viruses, and therefore the people started to look at the behavior of the virus, how that virus behave, and then if it is mutated, whether this falls into the same category or not. And with the invention or with the advancement in artificial intelligence technology, we are trying, even at IIT Bombay, my group is working on that, trying to develop some system which can learn from the past behavior and can figure out that the traffic which is coming into my organization, whether that is a suspicious or not. However, the hacker community is also using the same artificial intelligence technique and trying to make it more intelligent. So this is like, as I said, game between the police and the thief. Like one is becoming more intelligent than another one, and I think this is how I see we have police for ages, thieves for ages. We were never able to eradicate that. So in this one also we have to coexist. We need to be more vigilant. Our technology should make more effort to safeguard this. Our infrastructure, people must be more aware of such kind of things. Maybe 20-30 years ago people were not that aware, but now community is more connected and more aware about it.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
So now I request Umesh Kumar sir to please
Conclude.
close this talk, so that because we have to rush for another.
We have one more. Anyway, I'll just summarize by saying that we are celebrating since Cyber Security Awareness Week, which is truly in the sense that in a society, as Professor Singh has said, means how we have evolved and how it is related. In fact, there is a quite direct connection. I was reading somewhere with almost 930 millions of phone and almost 60% plus using internet on everyday basis all the time. Going to the smart society, because these comes with that only, with that, as Professor Singh has mentioned, this physical cyberspace. So there is no alternative but to create awareness. I think that is the best key, because it will keep on, as we have mentioned several, I think stunning data, I should say, $20 billion ransom means it's a huge industry, and means hackers. In fact, it is. I read somewhere it is even state sponsored also in some time. As some audience, somebody wrote that it may lead to the world war also, just as we used to say third world war will be on water, perhaps now it may be an information war. And infodemic word is also being used when he was correlating with corona. That is also true, because we have to be very, very careful when you are browsing, when you are going, and mobile phone particularly, because in last lecture also we have observed, he has categorically mentioned, when you are logging in through mobile, you don't see the entire information available on the screen. So sometimes you get, every day in the newspaper you come across, even today I have read, yes, 112% increase in cyber crime. Even today, every day you'll find some or other people when they are logging in, booking online order, and they have been looted, you can say, or they have been cheated, or there is a cyber fraud on that. So in nutshell, we can say prevention, awareness, in addition to the policy and regulation which Professor Singh has mentioned, they are very, very essential. You can stop yourself. You have to be aware. You should know what you should do, what you should not do. Some of the lectures have mentioned in last lecture. If those who have missed that, it should be available on our YouTube channel. Please listen that. There is a lot of things to say, what you can do, how you can make your presence secure on that. And data processing has already said, they are really, really concerned. Some challenges and some solutions also he has provided, but be careful with this. I think with a lot of thanks to Professor Singh with sharing so much valuable information through these slides, and to all our audience who are present physically as well as online, with a big thank you to them. Looking forward once again maybe to join for some other program, because we keep on doing, that is our mandate, to make people aware on different aspects of science, different aspects of technology, time and again. So keep tuned with us, stay connected, be aware, keep a watch on our website, on Facebook page, and do come again and again. Thank you. Thank you, Professor Singh.
Thank you. It was really nice to have discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We are leaving.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.